What's up, guys, and welcome to the video. So basically, if you can't tell by the title, of course, this is going to be basically a video about my finds that I've gotten in storage units, some of my best ones. Of course, there's more than what I'm actually going to talk about, but these are like the top ones, I guess you could say. Just real quick, I want to thank you guys for everyone who's subscribing. My subscribers have been going up, my views have been going up, which is awesome. I really appreciate it. And then if you guys would like, my Instagram is going to be right there. If you guys want to go check that out, a lot of the stuff that's in my videos hits Instagram prior to being in the videos. So go check me out on Instagram, and hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so one thing I really wanted to talk about, and I always get the same question too, is like my best finds in storage units. It's not like the TV show, you don't buy a unit for $200-300 and you make $1,000 on it. There is cases that happens. 9 times out of 10, you make money because you know what to spend, you know what you're looking at. But you're not sitting there just making thousands of dollars and it looks so glorious like it does on TV. That's one of the reasons I really wanted to start this YouTube channel, and I finally listened to my friends and did it. But we're gonna get into it real quick. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 things on my little list here of my best finds. I just went through my pictures on my phone and looked for them. So I guess we'll start at the bottom, like the worst ones. Not worst, but like still pretty cool. One of them is, I don't know where to start. We'll go with the sketches that I have, and I've got a couple of them sitting next to me here. And I can show you the bigger framed ones here in a second. So basically I've got some original Family Guy sketches from when they were sketching out the actual films. I've got those with certificates of authenticity from the companies, and then I've also got some Simpsons lithographs. Like there's a Simpsons lithograph. There's a King of the Hill one. And these are like, not really lithos because they're more layovers. You can't really tell by looking at it through here, but like this is taller up on there, this is deeper. Just basically they start out at one point and go down and down to make the actual animations themselves. And there's another King of the Hill one there. I believe those are King of the Hill. I watch like historical stuff on TV. I'm a loser. But I've got those. And then the other ones, which I'll just bring it over here, is this one right here. Here's a better shot of it. You can kind of see them up close. But there's 3 of them framed up in there with 1 certificate of authenticity, and then I have the other 2 for them. But they're the original sketchings. Like if you look up at that one real close, I hope you can see it, but you can see where it's been like erased and fixed. And so I guess that's kind of like the bottom end one. I don't know. I actually pulled them out of a unit that I paid $100 for. There was only 3 people at the auction, and then we picked it up for $100. And there was also about, I think it was like $800 or $900 worth of gold jewelry in there that I sold at scrap value. Couch, love seat, and some other just miscellaneous stuff. So next on the list, I would have to say, is probably this football certificate. That's very undescriptive, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's very undescriptive, but it's pretty cool. And it's not really worth a whole hell of a lot. So here's the certificate here. It's a Cleveland Browns 1964 Professional Football Team World Championship certificate. This is number 62, if I can get that up close enough to see it, number 62. And it's signed by a whole bunch of people. And then down there is the Cleveland Browns plaque. This is really hard to do because I'm using the front-facing camera. So that little paragraph basically says that the holder of that certificate is able to attend any meetings of the 1964 Cleveland Browns football team, championship team, and a couple other things. But I think it's really cool that it's autographed by everyone that was on the staff. I believe it's the staff and of that year. It's a really neat piece. I think I saw one on eBay when I first found that, because I found that a couple years ago. I think I saw one for like $500 or $600 on eBay. That came out of a unit that I paid 400 and some odd bucks for. I'm not sure exactly, but I still remember the unit partially. There was a nice microfiber couch set in there, washer dryer, miscellaneous odds and ends. But I think that's a really cool piece. And then next, I guess, would have to be the unit that I bought. I don't know, I think this was still when I was in high school. I actually talked my dad into letting me miss school to go to this auction. It was a 10 by 30, and then right here, here's a picture of it, of what the unit looked like when I bought it. This is what it looked like. And then out of that unit, it was actually like a full basement. It was really neat. I paid just under $2,000 for that unit. I paid $1,950 for it. And little did the person bidding against me know that if they would have hit it one more time, they'd have had it. Which has actually happened a lot with a lot of these units that I bought and that I've gotten good stuff out of. But it was basically like a full basement. There was 2 deep freezers, really nice washer and dryer set, 2 fridges, I believe, maybe 1 or 2, a pool table, an air hockey table, about 1,000 to 2,000 DVDs, about 2,000 CDs, a bunch of furniture, and then the really cool stuff that came out of there, the people collected Michael Jordan memorabilia. There was 6 Michael Jordan jerseys, which I will show you here in a little bit. And then there was a signed Michael Jordan magazine, which is right here. The signed Michael Jordan magazine from the Olympics. And then also they did collect movie posters as well. I think I've got 30 of them or so. And then there's also big box frame movie posters, one of Alien vs. Predator and one of Spider-Man 2, that are the ones that you see outside of a movie theater that light up and everything. Those are all still in the back, and a few of the movie posters that I have are signed by the people who are on the poster. And then here's the jersey. So the lighting is pretty terrible, but here's actually the Michael Jordan jerseys that I have, and they were all framed in these display cases. So there's a Wizards, there's another Wizards one. That's the Washington Bullets, which he actually never played for, but it's a Michael Jordan jersey. There's the 88-89 All-Star jersey, which I've found this exact jersey online. If it was signed, it would be worth around $10,000, so I need to figure out how to get that signed. Michael Jordan, if you're watching, I need you to sign that. Bulls from the finals. And then I think the coolest jersey is the Birmingham Barons, is what that jersey is, his minor league baseball team. And then this piece, it also came out of that same unit. It's Bad Boy, Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death album that's framed right there. I'm not sure if it's actually like a platinum album or anything, but I've had it. The frame's gotten cracked up on it, but I've tried to do research on it, but can't find anything. If anyone knows anything, let me know down in the comments. All right, then before getting into some of the crazier stuff, I've had some stuff laying around here that we found. And speaking of sports stuff too, here's a signed Redskins hat. I'm not really sure who it's signed by because I can't read signatures, but it's 48 right there. Just get it in the camera. That's that signature. We've got a signed Santana Moss picture right there. It's really dusty, but that's that. We have this jersey here, number 51 Spikes from, I don't even know, the Titans maybe. But it is signed on the back there, as you can see. And I do believe this was a game-worn jersey. There's some dirt and stuff all over it. But those are some cool sports memorabilia things we found. We actually do have a picture of a backup Steelers quarterback that is hanging on the wall over there. And then there's also this cool thing too that I just grabbed because it was laying there too. It's a Beethoven 14th. I don't even know how to say it. It's all, I believe it's all in German, but it's very, very old. And I can't really read anything that it says because I can't read foreign languages. But it's not new by any means. It's not in the best of shape either, but it's seems to be a really cool piece. If anyone has any information on this, let me know, because I'd love to learn about it. I've done countless hours of research on this and just can't figure anything out about it. All right, on to the next thing. I guess the next thing in line would be a 1982 original stand-up Miss Pacman machine that I actually found out of Richmond, Virginia in 2013, I believe it was. Yeah, it was. I think it was 2013, 2014. And it was actually, I went down there with a buddy of mine, and I think we bought like 7 or 8 units altogether. Took 2 26-foot U-Haul trips to move it. And we were actually cleaning out units on my mom's birthday, which was the funny part about that. And that was also another auction that I was still in school for. And I like begged my mom to let me miss school to go down to these auctions, and Went down there and made a lot of money. And so here's a picture of that Miss Pacman machine. There is some water damage on it, and it does need to be repaired. But once I get it repaired, I've already got it basically sold. I just need to get on the ball of that, and trying to find someone who repairs those are very hard. It's very difficult to find. I've done a lot of research on that. But that's a really cool find that I got, and it was funny because I was loading the truck, and he was moving stuff out to the truck. And he goes, "Holy shit," and I'm like, "What?" And I come and I'm like expecting something stupid. And I come and stick my head out of the truck and look into the unit, and it's just sitting back there in the corner. That was actually a really good unit. Besides, I think I found like a crack pipe in there and a bunch of other stuff. It was a lot of drug paraphernalia that pulled out of there. But there was also a lot of gold jewelry that I'd pulled out of there. 4 or 5 big boxes full of Pampered Chef stuff that sold really well on eBay. I mean, this was a few years ago. So next I would have to say, it's kind of a toss-up, but I'm going to go with the unit that I bought. I don't even remember what year it was. 2015 maybe, 2014. I bought a unit that had 3 cars in it. It had a 1981 Mercedes-Benz 240D, a 1981 Mercedes-Benz 300 SD, I think it was, and then a 1986 Jaguar XJ6. I think it was an XJ6. No, it was an XJ12, I believe. I don't know. XJ6 or XJ12. But I bought those 3. I paid, for the Pacman unit, I paid $230 for it or something. It was a 10x10. And then the unit with the cars, I paid $1,650 for that unit. Ended up, luckily, the only reason I paid that much is because the facility had clean titles for all 3 cars, so I didn't have to worry about trying to get a title for them. And then I actually found the keys to the cars in the back of the unit, which was really nice. And pretty much everything else in there went to the trash. Wasn't anything good. There was actually a painting that came out of that same unit that says on the back that it was framed and it's a Picasso print or something. I'm not sure if it's original or not. I still have it sitting around. I don't know anything about art. I know a lot about a lot and a little about some. And art's one of the ones I don't know a lot about at all. That's really that unit. The 240D was sitting up front. Back in the back right-hand corner was the 300 SD, and then the Jaguar was on the left behind the white car. Then on to the next one. This was in 2014 December. I bought a unit for $450, and here's a picture of that unit. And there was the motorcycle that came out of there was a motorcycle that I found. It was sitting right up front. I only paid $450 for the unit, and I guess mainly everyone was afraid. There was no title for the motorcycle, so that's one thing. But everyone was afraid, I guess, if it was locked up or anything, and that's the first thing that I checked to see if the motor was locked up. But actually, the motorcycle that came out of there was a 1969 Moto Morini, which is a British motorcycle company that was only around for a select set of years. I think they were only around for like 10 or 11 years back in the 60s and 70s. And then they tried to make a comeback in 2014 or 2015, but I haven't heard much about them. The bike itself is actually, it looks like it was ridden a little bit and then put away. The funny thing about it is the odometer on it only has 7 miles, which is really insane, which is like dealer miles on it. And I totally thought that it was reset or something, but me and my buddy got it started up one day. And the main issue with it is the fuel lines broke off on the top of the carburetor, so I need a new top end of the carburetor. But finding parts to a bike like that is really, really difficult. And he actually said he did research on the company, and they only imported 400 motorcycles from Moto Morini into the U.S. between the years like 67 to 73 or 4 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that's what he said he figured out about it. And we got it started up, and then we were looking around the bike, and like the nipples are still on the tires. The tool set was factory wrap. We pulled the oil, and it looked like it was changed yesterday. It's just, I think there's like 7.5 miles on it now. There was like 7.2 when I got it, but just from moving it around, it's gotten a little bit more mileage on it. But I'd really like to restore the bike and then turn around and sell it. Maybe as like that's my retirement plan, I guess, because it's worth a pretty decent penny right now. So I guess the last, but definitely not least, was the unit that really, I guess, got me hooked, per se, into the business. Most people have that unit. I've heard a lot of stories from other guys, what units they've gotten that really got them started into doing it full time. But it was like 3-4 months after I initially started, like, buying, I guess you could say. But it was a unit that I paid. It was a big wooden crate, which was 4 foot wide, 8 foot tall, and 8 foot deep. And I basically bought this unit for $460. And this is the same kind of thing where if the guy would have hit it one more time, he would have had it. Because I was really barely had a lot of money. I was, I think, a sophomore in high school, maybe a freshman, sophomore. It was in the middle of summer, so I think I was going into my sophomore year of high school. And I was at this auction and almost didn't go to the auction, but paid $460 for this unit. And at the time, that was like all my money. I was freaking out. I'm like, holy shit. But I basically went on, I don't have a picture of the unit. Never took a picture of it, but I have a picture of what I'm about to tell you. So I basically went on this unit because there was 3 ammo cans on the ground on the right, and then there was a gun, like a suede gun case sitting on top on the left-hand side of the unit. And I paid $460 for it, walked over and grabbed the gun case, and there was 4 bullets in there, and it was empty. And I was pissed. I threw the fucking thing to the back and slammed the door and got all pissed, and I'm like, that's all my money, you know. I could have been done right there. But we ended up, they forklifted it outside for us, and we were going through it, and we were moving stuff out. I mean, some decent stuff, nothing crazy. We moved those little 3 plastic drawer things on the side. There was a couple of those. We moved them back, and there was a picture leaning over on the back, like kind of like down like that. And we moved them, and then and I was loading stuff into the car, and my dad was cleaning it out with me, and he goes, holy shit. And I'm like, what? I turn around, and I said, oh my God. There was 6 gun cases laying across the back, and we ended up pulling, so we pulled out one, which was a small little green one. Wasn't anything crazy, but I opened it up and it felt heavy. I opened it up and there was 4 pistols in it. Here's a picture of the guns. In there was a Smith & Wesson 38, Smith & Wesson 357, a Colt 38, which was like a police issue, but it was like a police model, a Remington 1100, the muzzleloader at the top, I believe it's a muzzleloader, I can't remember the name of it, it was a little 50 caliber muzzleloader, wasn't anything special. And then the one that brought the most money was the World War II civilian issue German Luger, which I showed to multiple different people, and they all believed it had the original packing grease in it. Here's some up close pictures of that gun. But I ended up selling all those guns just prior to the Sandy Hook shooting, when gun prices went through the roof. But I sold them just prior to that, and I made just under $5,000 on all 6 guns altogether. And there was also there was a couple of shotgun barrels in there as well that we sold to a local gun store. But we sold all of those for just under $5,000, and then plus all the other stuff. So I probably profited about $6 grand on that unit, which that was the one that I guess really got me, quote unquote, hooked into the business. But yeah, those are really my finds. If I forgot to put any pictures in, they're gonna be right here afterwards. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys don't mind clicking that subscribe button, turn your post notifications on. I'm gonna try to start keeping my videos a little bit shorter than they normally are. I've been told by a few people to shorten them up some. And thank you guys. Appreciate it. See you next time.